So we have the following: 6 to the power of 2. 6 squared is another way of saying that. How do we simplify and write that and calculate that? Well, we're raising to the power of 2. We take the 6 and we multiply it by itself. And how many 6's do we have? We have 2 of them because it's 6 squared. 6 times 6 is, of course, 36. So what we have learned is that 6 squared is equal to 36. And that's the final answer. All right, let's get a little more practice. What about something larger? What about 11 squared? Well, same story, different numbers. It's the 11 that gets multiplied times itself. And we have to have 2 of these 11s here because it's squared. Now, what is 11 times 11? You might remember, you might not. So just go over here and multiply it. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, drop a 0. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, add. Here's a 1, here's a 2, and here's a 1. The answer is 121. 1, 2, 1. So we've learned that 11 to the power of 2 is 121. All right, next problem. Let's take a look at 1 to the power of 4. How do we write 1 to the power of 4? Well, we multiply 1 times itself. Here's a 1. That would be 1 squared. This would be 1 cubed. And so we have to have 4 of these guys here. So 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. How do we calculate this? Just go left to right. 1 times 1 is going to give you 1. Still have the other 2 multiplications to do. We have to go left to right. 1 times 1 again is 1. And then the final 1 times 1 is 1. So you can see that when you take 1 and raise it to a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or 5 and so on, you're always going to get a number of 1 back because 1 multiplied by itself as many times as you want still gives you the number 1 as an answer. All right, let's take a look at 9 to the power of 2. How do we write that? How do we calculate that? We take the 9 and we multiply it by itself. We have 2 of them here. 9 times 9 is what? 81. And so the answer to 9 squared is equal to 81. All right, we're almost done. Or I guess I shouldn't say we're almost done. We're about halfway. Let's take a look at 12 squared, or 12 to the power of 2. What does this mean exactly? It means we take that 12 and we multiply it always by itself. And we have 2 of them here because it's squared. Now 12 times 12 you might not remember, so if you don't, just come over here and multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, drop a 0. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, and you add 4 and 4 and 1. And the answer is 144. So 12 squared is 144. That's the final answer. All right, next, how about something a little larger? 5 to the power of 3. So we have to take this base, which is 5, and multiply it by itself. There's 5 times 5, that's 5 squared. But we have 1 more because it's actually 5 cubed. Now we have to calculate this, so we go left to right. 5 times 5 here is 25, but we still have to multiply by this final 5. Now I don't know what that is, so I go over here and do 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 more is 12. So the answer is 125. So 5 cubed, or 5 to the power of 3, is 125. All right, we're almost done. Let's take a look at the problem 2 to the power of 4. So again, we're multiply by itself. It's going to be 2 times 2, that would be 2 squared, times another 2, that would be 2 cubed, but we have to do finally times another 2. We have to have 4 of them there. And now we have to calculate going left to right because it's all multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4. You still have these other 2's to multiply by. Going again left to right, 4 times 2 is 8. Still got another 2 to multiply by, and 8 times 2 is 16. So we've learned that 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 16. And that's the final answer. All right. Almost done. What about 1 squared? 1 squared. Well, we're going to multiply that 1 times itself. Only have 2 of them here. 1 times 1 is 1. And so 1 squared is 1. Now here's an interesting problem. What about 0 to the power of 3? Some students will look at that and say, well, I don't know what to do. This looks weird. Well, 0, you can just treat it like anything else. It's going to be 0 times itself times itself. There has to be 3 of them. So just to go in order, 0 times 0 is 0. Still got another 0 to multiply by. And finally, 0 times 0 is 0. So 0 to the power of 3 is 0. It makes sense when you actually think about it that it should equal 0. Now, here is our last problem. I think we'll slide over and do it here. Let's take a look at 4 to the power of 3. 4 to the power of 3. So what do we have? We have 4 times 4. That would be squared. But we have a third one, so it's 4 times 4 times 4. Now we multiply left to right. 4 times 4 is 16, but I still have to multiply by that other 4. So I go over here and take 16 times 4. I don't know what that is. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 1 times 4 is 4. And then 2 more is 6. And what do you get? An answer of 64. So 4 cubed is equal to 64. So here we have learned and practiced with the very important idea of an exponent. To not only know what an exponent is, to know how to write it out in terms of multiplication, and then also to calculate the answer. So it's a really important skill because we have already done order of operations up until this point. Now we need to know what happens when we have an exponent running around our expression. How does that change the order of operations, or does it change the order of operations? So follow me on to the next lesson. We'll talk about order of operations when you also have exponents in the expression. Learn anything at mathandscience.com.